Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, if you have grown to know me in the past couple months, you would know that I love to speak. However, one thing that I discovered is that even though I can be very energetic, use all the strategies from the Toastmasters book, when I walk up to someone who listens to my speech a couple days later, they often don't remember what I said. Now, it's not because I'm not a great speaker. I do consider myself a very great speaker. However, I don't always give great speeches. In today's speech, I want to differentiate between giving a great speech and being a great speaker. Content is often more important than delivery. Both of those things are very important. But when you speak, you have to speak with a purpose. And you want to speak so that you have a lasting influence on that person or on the audience. Today, I want to talk about how to give a great speech. How to fill your speech with content that will last for days or weeks. I propose to you my three-pronged method. I call it littering, or litter for short. You want to limit your topic. You want to have no more than 3 supporting points. And you want to repeat, repeat, repeat. First, let's talk about limiting your topic. When I prepare for a 5 to 7 minute speech for Toastmasters, I am often tempted to write a speech that shows how incredibly intelligent and handsome I am. Unfortunately, given a 5 to 7 minute window, that is almost impossible. In fact, if I try to choose a topic that is so incredibly broad that would demonstrate my incredible awesomeness, oftentimes what would happen is it would backfire. I would try to fill my speech with too much content so that it overwhelms the audience member. An example of this would be a speech to teach someone how to make a very complicated recipe. Recipes often involve lots and lots of steps. And by the time I listen to the 3rd step, or the 4th step, I forgot all the previous steps. The human attention span is just way too small to absorb all that content and information. That is why when you narrow your topic and you come with a purpose, the audience member will be more likely to listen. If you've been at work, sometimes your manager might give you things to do. And if you're like me, you would prefer to do things with clear direction. If my manager tells me to pull these numbers for this particular reason, I wouldn't know how to do it. But if my manager asks me, how can I make my organization better, that's much too broad a task for me to do. The next thing that you could do to give a great speech is to use no more than 3 points. This goes back to my previous assumption that individuals have a much too short attention span. Judging from personal experience, when I sit in a PowerPoint presentation and there are more than 3 bullets per slide, I oftentimes just blank out. Because if you provide me 7 bullet points and 40 PowerPoint slides, how do I know which ones are the most important? How do I know which ones I should step away remembering? In the Toastmasters environment, in 5 to 7 minutes, it's best to condense everything into 3 main points. That way, I'll have a higher chance of remembering what you wanted me to remember. Lastly is the R. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So you have a very narrow topic, you have your 3 main points, now it's time for your conclusion. You want to repeat what you just said. That way, they're not going to forget. Oftentimes, we might think about littering as a negative concept, as something that is terrible, that hurts the environment. I want you to think ingrained in their brains. And hopefully, by following these 3 methods, the Litter method, the power of your speech will last longer than 24 hours. Madam Toastmaster.